thanked us. Those of you that said you enjoyed it, we appreciate that, okay? And glad you do. It makes it worth it to us as well, okay? So we're just really glad that you enjoy it. And it gives us great pleasure. And I talked to some in the audience who were talking about they wish that I had been around for their mother. And I said, so what's wrong with you? So just a little forewarning here. We're going to have a little while where we're going to have you come up and share a dream you might have. And maybe in this last hour or so that you've been here, seeing the art, hearing the music, seeing the dancing, maybe it's stimulated something in you that's been dormant. So we're going to have a little time. Debbie Havens will invite you to the floor after she does a song for you in a little while. So I'll give you some forewarning, okay? Think about it. I know somebody in here once dreamed of being a chef. They cook a lot, but I don't know if they make to be a chef yet. Or on a restaurant or anything, no. Okay, right now, we're going to start with our next dreamer. Our next dreamer is Jim Mead, and he once had a dream. What's he doing sitting down back there? Those sofas are so low, take him half the night to get up. Oh, no. So Jim once had a dream to fly.
Yeah, I lived in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and I took my first airplane ride while I was up there. And then when we came back down and landed, well, I said then, I'm going to be an airplane pilot. I like that. I met a man where I was going to church, and he said he was an airplane pilot. So he says, licensed instructor, ready to fly an airplane, or he was licensed to do the ground control teaching too. So he said, if you're interested in flying, said, we'll form a club and get about 14, 15 people in it. So we learned already how to fly. So I was really interested in that. Then we got talking, we formed this club, and we wrote all the bylaws and everything up we're going to have there. And we got, I think we did 14 people besides me and the instructor. So we started searching for other, people. We got, like I said, 14 people trying to get in. And we he started teaching us what we need to know before we got in the airplane. We bought an airplane, and we started flying. And I was working 7 days a week, so I got to fly about twice a week. It took me most of the year, I guess, but I sold it out. And then the next day, I took a short flight across the country and came back, landed. And I could go out anytime I wanted to and fly the plane. So sometime after that, I took my written test to get my pilot license. And I like 2 points passing it. So I never did get to go back, take the written test again. But I kept flying to some more very short cross-country flights and so and then it was sometime after that I came back to Kentucky and I had a job and come back to it. And so I went to Prestonsburg, the Incorp down there about these last week's programs down there and keep the plane. So I'll go ahead and get the pilot license. And I come to find out why I hit the cost on the way down here where I was getting by pretty cheap up there. So I never did get to go ahead and finish it. So just like I tell my wife, maybe if I had went ahead and got my license by the little thing, I probably would fly a jet airplane today. So that was the end of my dream.
You know, when he originally told the story in class the other day, he was talking about, God, following it. And then he said, I was up and flying around, and this is what I heard. He said he didn't say that, but this is what I heard. Anyway, he said, I was flying, and I thought he said he was flying with somebody in a co-pilot with him. He said, I decided I was bored with it, and I was going to quit right then. And I said, in midair, you're going to quit flying? And then he said, yeah. And I said, you mean you were flying and you decided you were just going to quit now? Yeah. Well, that wasn't what he meant, but that's what I heard.
No, I took off from Prestonsburg Airport and flying back to Michigan. And I put a just hand on my head, just let me, what it would do is just let me see the instruments on the airplane. I flew all the way back to crossing over into Michigan. And I just got hard sitting there staring at these instruments that far. And I took the cap off my head and said, here, I'll quit.
He didn't say there was anybody else who was going to take over, so that made me a little nervous. I thought that's not the time to decide to stop flying when you're alone up in the air. Well, so following that, the pilot, he made some successes with his the experiences. But next I'm going to bring up a friend of mine, been a friend since grade school here. Her dream was to fly. So we've talked ever since I've been back here. We've talked about all the places. I lived in Hawaii. She said, oh, what I wouldn't give to go to Hawaii on an airplane. So Miss Kathy Hall is going to come up here and tell you about the first trip. She said I encouraged her enough that she took the trip, okay? So she's going to come up and she's going to share with you about her flight to Hawaii. If she's there. Kathy?
Before I talk about flying, I would like to say that at 8 years old, I had a dream, and I wanted to become an RN. And my grandmother, Elizabeth Allen, she was an RN, and a lot of you may remember her. She lived over here by the railroad track. And she helped me a lot as I was growing up and encouraged me. And so Huber and I had 4 children, and I stayed with him. And when the last one graduated from high school, then they went to college and I went to college. So all 4 of them and myself were in college at the same time. So I did get my RN degree, and it's one of the most fulfilling jobs that you can ever think to have. I've heard so many people say, I hate to go to work. I hate my job. But as an RN, you never hate your job. And that next morning you get up and you meet so many new faces and make so many acquaintances, and you cry with the patients, you pray with the patients, you call back and check and see how they're doing on your days off, and you can't do anything but that way. It's so satisfying, and I just thank God that I was able to pass my finals and become an RN, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. And now I'd like to read to you about my flight to Hawaii. As I approached the counter of the airport to pick up my ticket, the lady said something about insurance. And I replied, lady, I'm up to my eyeballs in insurance, but I purchased it anyway. I made it to the plane, found my seat. The stewardess showed us how to do, what to do, and what to use. By the time she finished, I was scared to death. Why didn't anyone tell you about the good things? We started to take off, and through the force would push me back into the next seat. After we leveled off, the stewardess came to my seat and said, ma'am, what are you doing with all this survival gear? And I stated, I inflated my flotation device and I'm sitting on it with my seatbelt on. I'm reaching with the oxygen mask and here's my puke bag handy. I'm ready for a crash. Ma'am, would you like a drink? I don't drink. Well, it will calm you down so you can enjoy the flight. Well, do you have a gallon? As I continue to use my oxygen, I asked the man sitting next to me, sir, do you happen to have a Valium? Yes, I do. Well, could I have about 14 of them? I really need to calm down. Ma'am, what are you doing up here in the cockpit, sitting in the pilot's lap? Well, look at all that smoke out there. We are flying under hazardous conditions. Ma'am, that's not smoke. Those are clouds. Well, they need to get out of them so they can see the highway so they'll know where they're going. Back in my seat, I heard squeaky wheels coming down the aisle towards me. Ma'am, would you like a package of peanuts and something to drink? By looking at the size of the peanut bag, I would say Jimmy Carter isn't selling wholesale to the airlines anymore. The price I paid for my ticket should include caviar and champagne. Ma'am, I need to go to the restroom, but I can't get up. The reason you can't get up is that you have a death grip with both of your hands on the seat arms. Opening the bathroom door, and I had to twist and maneuver in all directions. The room was all still, gray of course, cramped and cold. I really didn't look forward to sitting down on the commode seat. Oh, so cold. The only place I know where you can sit on the commode, put on makeup, and wash your hands all at the same time. When I flushed the commode, if the hole would have been bigger, I would find the best way to get out of that plane. And if I were claustrophobic, they would have to bring me right there anyway. When I came out of the bathroom door, I heard a thud, and I had knocked out a stewardess who was lying in the aisle. I told them then that they needed to make the aisles longer and wider. Back in my seat, I was practicing my crash position again, and I grabbed my neighbor around the neck. I was screaming, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. I grabbed my bag, and I puked in one, and I grabbed his and hyperventilated in it. The stewardess came, and I screamed, can't you call 911 or an ambulance? I can see Charlotte now in her new red Lincoln convertible, swinging her fingers through her hair with a big bright smile on her face and $2 million in the bank. I bet she will have me cremated. What's wrong with me? I'm already cremated. But I'll fool her. The next time, I'm going to put the insurance in my name.
So that's a trip she's going to take one of these days. She's yet to fly. But we have hope. So if there's anybody in here that has access to a plane, we want to get this woman on the airplane. But that's only after she does put the insurance in my name, though, okay? Make sure of that. Okay, I'm going to remind you, Debbie's going to come up and share her dream and share her song. But I'm going to remind you that after Debbie sings, we're going to invite you to come up. Some of you to come up. Did you slide back on that seat there, Jared, and hide, or what? Please be brave enough to come up and think about something, or think about it and come up, something that you might really yet like to do. Okay? So right now, though, I'm going to bring one of our artists up, and Debbie Hagens, who's been with this group off and on, also for the last 4 or 5 years, in many of our different skits. And if some of you have been here throughout the different years, you've seen us do a variety of things. But right now, Miss beautiful Miss Debbie Hagens.
Like many people that's been up here before me, I've always loved art, even as a child. And instead of wanting a doll or something for Christmas, I always asked for art sets. And when I went to college, I had thought about majoring in art, but I didn't. And since I've retired, I've been oil painting. So Miss Vanna White is going to bring one of my oil paintings out and show it. Thank you, Dan. When I was young, I had really lofty dreams. I knew that I wanted to go to college, and I thought, well, I'm going to go to an Ivy League college or a big university. Well, I graduated from Morehead State University. So I realized my dream of getting a college education right in my own backyard. Also, when I was a young girl, as most young girls do, I dreamed of getting married. And I didn't want to just marry anybody. I thought, who is my age that would be a good catch for a husband? And I thought, why, Prince Charles, that's who I want to marry. Well, needless to say, I didn't marry Prince Charles. I married a handsome hometown boy named Paul Higgins, and we've been married for almost 37 years. And I'm so glad that I didn't marry Prince Charles, because, you know, he would have left me for Camilla Parker Bowles anyway. So, when Charlotte told us to think about our dream, I thought about the movie, The Wizard of Oz. And as Dorothy, she went on a quest, and she found out or discovered that there's no place like home. And I think many of you who have traveled miles to get back to Maytown for this homecoming would agree with it. There's no place like home. And we're so glad that you came, that all of you came to the homecoming. Also in The Wizard of Oz, the Scarecrow was looking for a brain, the Tin Man was looking for a heart, and the Cowardly Lion was looking for courage. But God equips each one of us with the attributes that we need to realize our dreams. And they really already had what they were looking for. We just have to have the courage to pursue those dreams. So I'm going to try to muster up enough courage here to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
And she did our sign for us here too. Dreams and first of all.
Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where clouds are far behind me, where trouble smells like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, where birds fly over the rainbow. Why, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't
I was going to tell a dream that I have, and I just found out that I'm going to be a grandmother. And I'm so excited. I'm going to be a big grandmother. So now we want some, any people from Maytown, I'm sure, we had a good background here. We had great teachers and people that cared about us, and people from Maytown have been very successful and had a lot of dreams. So if you want to share your dream, you can either come to the stage, or Charlotte will bring a microphone back to where you are. So, or Willie will, okay.
Anybody have any dreams?
Somebody get enough courage here to tell the dream.
Yep.